Hello, design mate. It's lovely having you. Yes, so my name is Isabelle Tiltjes. I'm Belgian. I worked for 30 years in Paris and I moved back 6 years ago. And I was very lucky to find this house because I was looking for a family house, a place where I could work and a place where I could put my sculptures. I work in clay. And so I made that sculpture at the foundry straight away because then they could mold it and it was easier to transport. It's a bird I had made in a smaller size on the wing and I always wanted to enlarge it. So I spoke to the foundry about it and they said, well, we'll do it together. I've done the one you'll see later on, who's 2.50 meters, but that one is 3.50 meters. I discovered a clay that has paper that is rotten inside, and then you can put a metal structure inside. And because when the clay dries up, it loses volume and it cracks. And that one, that clay with the paper inside, thanks to the paper, it doesn't crack, so you can work on larger scales with the metal inside.
And why did you choose the sculpture as your medium?
Because I love the sensuality of the touch, and especially the clay gives that real. It's got. I'll make you touch clay over there that's dry, and it's very sensual. So these are the old stables of the house. So the daughter of Marselya Brotarsa, who had the house before as a gallery for her father, kept all the old materials, and so that's the old bricks, and so that's the first monumental I did, and it was an enlargement of this sculpture. That was a sculpture I made to show that you can go through obstacles. Rounds are going smaller and smaller, and all the birds are before the round, and at the last one he goes through. And so I did this one following the first of the series. I love penguins because they're between human and birds. Then I started making penguins and then I made them in different sizes. And these are normal size, they're really that size. And they were in Miami in November. I like them having that. If you give, they'll fall over. That's the place where I work because it's a table you can move around and you can lift, go up and go down. And I draw there and I put all my tools and everything in that space. But then I move from one place to another. I can start one. It's quite flexible.
And how much time do you usually need to transform the idea into the real object?
Oh, I can do a sculpture I thought about 3 or 4 years before. So I don't always realize, and I don't always do a drawing. In fact, I sometimes just sit and I consider, in fact, that your fingers speak by themselves. So often I've got a vague idea and then I just let my fingers go and or I like it or I don't like it, and then, but it often comes out and it just comes out in your fingers. As I was saying, I always work in clay, and normally I have the bronzes made at the foundry. This one is resin because it's very light. It only weighs 8 kilos and otherwise it would weigh 80 kilos. So it's very easy to hang just on a hook on the ceiling or on a tree in a garden. But I'm very lucky because the guy who makes my resin puts bronze powder in the resin so he can do a real pattern. And so that's why it really looks like a bronze. If you don't, the only thing is if you touch it, you see the difference. And I really wanted that bird. It's called the instant. And I really wanted that, it's really the moment where the bird meets the the man, and the little man is in bronze. For years I worked very different things. I went from very round ones to heads to spiral to boats. I did a lot of waves at one point, and I did a lot of scénettes. I was telling stories with a lot of people that we can see further on. I started making birds first because I'm fascinated by birds and because for me they really represent liberty. So I did the first birds I really made were the ones in the circles we'll see over there. And then it slowly went on, and then there was the penguins, and then I go back to the birds. And in fact, I minimalize my shapes more and more. I like still doing figures, but for the moment I'm in the birds, and I don't know, for the moment I'm just speaking about birds. Well, we're in the bathroom, the loo, and that's a hidden sculpture. At one point there was the hole there, and I just thought it was fine to be there and fun. We're in my living room and dining room, and here are all the... my father loved collecting paintings and certain furnitures, and I kept the ones I was really attached to. And then also there's a lot of things of travels that I picked up in places. The table, the chairs, well the couch is around. I drew in Paris when I was in Paris, and I had them made because they go up and down. In fact, you can put in different sizes. So it's a bit of mixture of all my life. There's the sculptures that I keep that are the last numbers, because normally you do 8 plus 4. The last one is for my children. So that's the sculptures that are here are the ones that are the numbers are finished, and I keep them for my children. So there's really a mixture of a lot of things that are part of a lifetime. This is a painting of Van Kessel, and it was my father's favorite, because he used to tell me all the stories, because it's ancient Flemish paintings. They always used to paint a lot of stories of life. So he used to tell me all the stories of the guy who was totally tipsy, his wife taking him home, the person who was doing things under the bridge. These are Italian, and I found them in New York, and they're corks. And when you see, they move, and well, a few are broken, but they're really amusing. That's a table I liked very much. That's elephant's saddle. It's just very dangerous, so pay attention not to. I think that for me the answer is art for me has to be a coup de cœur, has to be something that you go for. You have to feel something in front of it. Certain people will be real collectioners, so they'll bid on the way the purse will progress. So I think they're very different people. Certain people will just buy things that they really love because they have a heart going for it. Or certain will be more, they'll ask more advice on what is good to probably buy for the future.